And he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me. He wouldn't take no for an answer, so he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth. We met in actually the press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me, and he started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on. I resisted for a while because, I was a reporter, and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming. And we dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
What led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys, I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you?
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband. And I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Can you tell us just broadly, I know it's probably painful to relive this situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day?
It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth. Got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no, and said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard. I remember he got dressed and he knew what he did. And so, I just kind of escorted him out the door. And then I wasn't going to do anything about it.
Oh my God, bro.
Sometimes when you're with the person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it, and there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against my life, threats. He just was so worried that it would get out, and I wasn't going to do anything. But when he kept calling me at work, and when he kept, just very aggressively behaving, and I could see it wasn't going to go away, and he said he was going to destroy me and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me, and all that. I just went and got a protective order. I'd had enough. And unfortunately, shortly after he doxed me, and my address got out, and I had somebody stop by my apartment, which had a door that led right to the side. It was basically on the sidewalk. And somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up," screamed it at the top of their lungs. And I had my daughter in there right there. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And so I went and I dropped it, because also at my house, not my apartment, my house, at my house, somebody came to my house and sat out front of, in the driveway while my daughter was there alone. Someone came to my house, someone came to my apartment, and after my daughter called me, that's when I went straight there.
So after you rescinded the restraining order, was there any other was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television. He came to my job, Turner Broadcasting, went on TV.
The story don't make
at
sense.
CNN.
It doesn't,
And
man.
it was my job to put the videos from
You can stop it, Hakeem.
Up to.
I just want people to, get like the 5 to 6 minutes of what she's talking about. But go ahead, Rodney, man. What's your take
Now
on this?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to be insensitive, because some women has experienced things like that. It does happen, and it's not being of course, it's not being reported. Some women are afraid to speak about it, but in her case, because of Shannon's lifestyle, and because what he's dealing with right now with the other women allegation claiming him of rape, it's hard for me to be like, he live a sexual lifestyle with his BDSM, where they're doing like certain things and the woman getting pleasure out of it. Now, in her case, she said the man pretty much got overpowered her, but yeah, she reached out to him again. So that's why I'm like, okay, is he really? If someone's overpowering you, normally you're afraid of that man, you won't have nothing to do with him. But then you literally reach out to him again. It doesn't make sense to me. I came in Jordan. I'm trying to find the sense of it, but I don't know if she's capping, or she trying to, or this is a money grab and trying to take him down.
Right.
Go right ahead, King. Your thoughts,
brother. The first 15 minutes was overwhelming. Then when she said she was married, he told me to leave my husband. I said, after that, I said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Like, this is completely a shakedown. Like completely. Like, and please, America, please use your common sense that they're shaking this man down. Because the stuff that lady said did not make sense. 15 years later, we're not saying that if this was so horrific, please call the police. I wanted him to be locked up 15 years ago. You was like this.
I think sometimes it's hard for great victims to come out. They're afraid for their life.
But out of all of the sudden, 1 case, 2 case, 3 case, 4.
You do have a point there.
And the thing is, Hakeem, you took the words out of my mouth. We to hear the first six minutes of it, we didn't hear her of saying, "Hey, I tried to attempt to call the police. I tried to call the police." I ain't hear none of that too. And also, he was still married to your husband every day. If he was doing this stuff, why didn't you go to your husband about it? Even though you might have been, you've been, sleeping around, with Shannon, you're doing infidelity. The still thing is, it's like, why are you still in a situation that if you did all those things and everything, why you couldn't leave? He was still married. Man, it's just. Yeah, man, I just hate this for Shannon right now. Once that one chick put out the lawsuit, it's gonna be a lot of people in Shannon's past relationship that that's gonna be digging. But I'll tell you this, people. I'm gonna tell you this. Shannon got 3 kids, all black. You don't hear the baby mamas, and baby mamas saying something like this. Where the baby mamas at? They're not saying anything. And that's what I'm going to say. Oh, and all his kids are black. They came from a black woman. So, it's hard for me to believe this. It's like It's crazy to me. Shout out to Queen Stevie. She's saying the words of Dr. Umar, Black Queens forever,
I'm
Snow White
telling
forever.
you,
Come on, Shannon. If your kids' mothers are not saying anything about you, that just tells you that just tells you what I need to know right there. And then all the women that ask women that I'm sorry, they were white women that was just gonna say something. Of course they're gonna say something. They feel like they can get some kind of cash that's out there, you guys, Shannon, because even though he lost a lot of sponsorship, he do have some money. He do have some money. He still got one of the biggest podcasts, in the YouTube spaces and everything. So all these actors that's coming out, they majority of white, they're gonna try to say something, and then they can get, they can get some money out of it. And then, frankly, I don't like it. I don't like it. So as like I said, I feel bad for Shannon right now, and I feel like if you got more actors that come out that they are white, they're definitely gonna come out and they're gonna tell their piece that Shannon did this to me.
crazy, 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 man. I feel bad for Shannon, but Shannon he's gonna get, man. You gotta leave them white women alone, man. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that
And
notification
get
bell.
married. Fellas, if you want to save